everybody, Scott Burley here from Soulmates and Suitcases with my beautiful wife, Lisa Burley. And today we get the privilege of interviewing and having a great conversation with Matt Davis. He's an author,
Hello.
he's a speaker, and he's really into suicide prevention. Here's Matt Davis. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Matt?
Um, yeah. I took in how much do you want to know, or how little, or you mean like what street did I grow up on, or how
Just
old am
no,
I,
just
or
no. Well, you can anything you want, anything that you think
You never
pertains.
know. Someone will connect either
Yeah,
way.
anything you think pertains.
okay, I am married, so we'll
Yeah.
get that out of the way. So, um, I've been doing this since 2018, and what this amounts to is conversations. I make it a conversation when I take and speak to people. I'm not necessarily addressing them in a formal nature. I'm just having a conversation with them, and they're usually just attentive and listening
Mm-hmm.
to what I have to say. And I don't try not to make it too awkward, but sometimes I do, and that's fun to do with a crowd. But
Yeah.
so uh, we started out 2018, and it was slow, but yet about 4 months in, we started getting dates. So that was about April. And by the time we finished our first year, we had done near 60 dates.
Nice.
Wow.
So,
Where do
and
you,
yeah, that was outside of the state of Kentucky.
Wow.
So
So
it caught on pretty quick.
nice.
so the need or maybe the want was there to hear more
Uh,
about this.
yeah, something I really don't know. But then, like, you know, COVID happened and everything reset.
Yeah, it had to look different, that's for sure. And then we had a new mental health concern and issue with the COVID. So
Right.
did you discover that
Right.
too? Like you saw
Right.
that?
Yes, yes, definitely. Yeah. And even, the effects that is still lingering in ways from
Mm-hmm.
that. And people are, well, they are hungry. They're hungry to hear and they want to hear, but they don't know how to hear it. That's why when, say you can go into a store or restaurant or whatever, and if you was to say mental health, people's going to stop. They're going to want to know what's going to come next from this, and they might even join in the conversation with you. So,
That's
and
true.
we've seen that happen simply from not yelling mental health in the store, but wearing a T-shirt that the everyone has a mental issue or they're in denial shirt that
Mm-hmm.
I have designed and stuff, and we may sell a shirt in the middle of the store. Who knows? That's not the point. The point is the conversation that we have, and those are really the best times. Is you just run into the unexpected, unlikely times, but there's always somebody there to hear and want to hear.
Yeah, it's that I think that's what we're discovering too. It's having these like meeting these amazing people and having conversations and really being open to go what I like to say going deeper conversation.
Right.
And most people though we encounter, we feel they want to, but like you said, they either don't know how or they're too scared or they don't feel they're worth it. I'm not sure what exactly, maybe it's all of it included.
Well, in an interview I just finished up with the magazine is say was that is people feel like they cannot talk about this outside of a professional's office. And
Mhm.
that's the stigma there. And I
Yeah.
mean, and some do, I mean, and what kind of sense does it even begin to make that the topics that we do talk about, but yet, and there's no limitation in the topics we can talk about except mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just because that's been a stigma that's forced upon us. It's a lie.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, I have a feeling that the powers to be don't want our mental health cleared because then we'll be smart.
Then we won't need drugs.
That's
Or
what
then we
Right.
like, and that's what we
Right.
struggle with. And that's like, I think that's the forefront of what all our government should be, not, what's the word I'm looking for? Promoting in our countries rather
Right.
than get off drugs, get off this, get off that, promote mental health.
Yeah.
It's like, personally, I spent almost 30 years around 12-step programs. And it wasn't until I kind of stepped outside 12-step programs and went off mental health and the trauma before I started getting healthy. And then I look
Right.
around at the meetings I still go, and it's just like there's so much more than just 12 steps. Like, get out and enjoy life because you can really start to
Yeah.
enjoy it once you get some of the cobwebs out of here. It's easier to get the little ones,
Right.
and we continue growing like that.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, for me, I can testify and say that me, probably 90% of my visits to my psychiatrist was because I just wanted to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not afraid to say it, as long as I would go, checking out and, pay him, he'd continue to be my best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you
There
know
you go. Yeah.
but I mean, and I don't mean no disrespect or insults or anything, but uh, I'll I'll tell everybody up front. I say it in my book. If you're in that profession for money, do everybody a favor and go quit.
Yeah.
Find something else to do, because if you don't have the heart for it, you do not need to be thinking you're helping us.
Yeah.
Just quit.
100%.
100%.
So
And
yeah,
that exact sort of understanding that you technically just wanted to be heard or
right,
allow a release from yourself of some.
right,
And so that's kind of one of my understandings is that when you see your own self-worth, you can come to a place like I don't know if you experience this now with kind of your having written your book. Everyone has a mental issue, which we need to talk about your little. I don't even know how to say the word. You'll have to explain it. But understanding that when you kind of are able to see your own self-worth, then you can come to a place of allowing others to be heard and see their own self-worth.
right, right. And that's, yeah. I think I was starting another sentence before.
That's okay. Please do explain. I printed your book off and just the front cover,
Awesome.
this part here. But you need to explain this word. I have no, I don't even know how to say it.
Well, we decided to pronounce it ehamiotaid, and it's part of the gimmick, if you
Yeah.
want to call it that. But if you look at everyone has a mental issue or they're in denial,
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
that is the acronyms right there.
there you go.
And I just decided, I was like, I'm going to sound that out.
There.
And I can come up with a name, and I don't have to, search Google to see if it exists, because it didn't when
It
I
didn't.
searched. Nope, nope, it does now. It does now, but I didn't have to worry about any of that. Somebody's gotten the name, or, and I didn't want to be some, tranquil serenity counseling center or something like that. I wanted to be something my own, set apart, that was going to do something different.
Hmm. So what's your story? Like where did all of this initiative, this passion, this drive to write your book, Everyone Has a Mental Issue?
Well, 2020 happened, and I had some downtime. So that's where the book came from. I always wanted to write a book, and I always had ideas and stories and different things that I wanted to tell and share. I could even write a book of, I've spent a lot of time sitting in a fast food restaurant, particular, and just watching people and just the stories that I always wanted to, but I'm like, how in the world do you even go about it?
Hmm.
You know, to start with, I don't even have no financing that would even begin to do anything like that. So I just decided to go ahead and I started writing, and that's what came out of it. We decided to just, put it online because there is people that don't have the luxury to purchase, and they're just as equal to be able to have some help as anybody else. So I didn't want to keep anybody from that, and I think it is maybe not right if I have something that I feel is life changing or could be life changing or save somebody's life, to try to say, well, give me $15 and I'll tell you all about it.
Hmm.
Something, I think something's off track there when you go about it like that.
Mm.
But to each its own. I understand, you know.
And so did this, like you said, you hope it maybe it will save or help someone else. Did it do that for you?
Did the book do that for me? Uh, I wouldn't say that, but it certainly brought about a lot of revelations.
Hmm.
The central theme is helping others, and I can go back in time and always talking to my doctor, and and he, well, what are you wanting to do with this, event that you're wanting to put together and do? And it was to help others. There has always been that theme as I look back. Excuse me. So it's kind of a wow moment.
Mm-hmm.
There was times that in writing that I just had to stop because it just hit me, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
It is wow. It goes as far as my doctor had told me before of, see, I started therapy somewhere around 6, 7, 8 years old, and I lived out in a rural area. So to get anywhere where that could be accomplished, it was a 2 hour trip one way. And some weeks we did it about 3 times a week.
Mm.
So, and that was my parents, and and they was great support, and couldn't have done it without them. I don't feel like, but there was a lot of mistakes made. By the time I got 17, 18, the word Tourette's entered into the process. And he said, there's a lot of information coming out from other countries, from our, colleagues. And I think that's what we've got going on. So here we had been since I was 7 or 8, treating Matt for psychiatric issues. And that was nothing but a train wreck. I mean, hospitalizations was a train wreck. I mean, there was nothing. Everybody was just at a standstill. So to hear Tourette's and it had a name, that felt good, you know. And the mistakes that had been made in the process, my doctor has recorded all of that information. And he says, all of that information, he said, I've got the MAC folder. That has been used with other colleagues around the world for their notes. So everything that I have gone through, it has gone on to help more people than I'll ever know.
Oh,
And so, I mean, I'm not going to complain too much, I guess, you know?
It's when we look back, it's kind of sad at how I think I'm not sure how old you are, but I'm 58, and
Okay.
how
53.
okay how much they've learned
Yeah.
since we were kids that they didn't know. Like I was almost
Oh,
killed by a car at 7, major head
yeah.
trauma, and then after that, I became the wild child. And
Right.
then today, in today's world, they would be treated completely different than
Oh,
I was
yeah.
treated because I was just a bad kid. And
Right. Yeah.
what happens when you're reinforced getting told you're bad all the time? Well, you might as well be
Yeah.
bad and prove them right.
Yeah. Yeah. You feel that way. And yeah, I mean, even to this day, some of that stuff still,
Oh,
I mean, yeah. Yeah. I agree totally. I mean, you can talk to um, doctors or people, I mean, with hospitalization. And I think the maxed out right now hospital stay is maybe a week.
are you talking for psychiatric stuff?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah, 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 for psychiatric stuff. And it has to be, I mean, pretty detrimental, I guess would be the word, for even hospitalization to occur sometimes. I mean, right now, the stay for somebody in a hospital is about a week.
yeah.
But me growing up, it was going to be at least 30 days. That was the minimum stay. And so, I mean, how things have changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, the sort of the area of going to doctors to get help is definitely I guess a way to support your mental health. However, it's it's these I think it's these kind of conversations like we're having now that we just have with that one person, or how we kind of impact that group of people. Or but I know in your book, like, you talk a lot about sort of your, I think, your story. And so when you talk with people one on one or whatever, what are you seeing kind of as the biggest thing that's like kind of blocking people from going forward and kind of making more shifts, or believing they can make more shifts, maybe?
uh, Probably the 3 points that I talk about is knowing, acknowledging, and accepting.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I went years, knowing it. I went years, I could acknowledge it and sometimes accept it, but all three of them never come into play until, you know, I guess around 2017.
Yeah.
I was just, I mean, I would, hey, I'm this way. So, you'll just have to excuse me. And
Hmm.
that's not the case, you know. I mean, I'm this way, you'll just have to tolerate me.
And maybe I'm not your energy, and that's okay. And that's
Yeah,
okay for today. Maybe it'll be different next week. You never know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I
So
believe,
I
yeah,
think knowing, acknowledging, and accepting, and that goes far beyond things from just mental health.
yeah,
That's a lot of things in life, and once you're able to be comfortable with it, I guess,
yeah,
and tell others. For me, it is therapeutic to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
And I found and seen others say the same thing that have come to meetings and, things like that to hear me and stuff. Will say the same things.
yeah,
I know things are different now. You've got me growing up, there was the doctor, and he was the doctor, but now there's the counselors, therapists, and doctors rarely is in the picture sometimes, and I mean, and if you go to the hospital, you're under somebody else's care at that hospital.
Mm-hmm.
When I was there, I was under his care at the hospital.
yeah.
So, I mean, just things have changed to try to make things better. So,
Did
you
you
know,
did you experience some big kind of pivotal moments, like looking back now in your life that were they meant a lot, or they had a lot of meaning, or they brought a lot of awareness to you?
um, I would say more since I've probably started the Hemiotape project.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I remember personally myself. I remember the second time that I was hospitalized. That um, I don't know. I was under the impression that I could come and go as I wanted to, and it didn't work that way. So when I left when I wanted to, it didn't work very well. So anyway, and that didn't work out very well. And I remember I was running, and they got me, and all of that process and everything, and uh, I just kept telling them, call my mom and dad. And I don't know if it's just what it was, but I swear I heard one of the nurses, guys, or something say we did, and they don't care.
Hmm.
That just sent me over the edge, and I was just ready to, I'm like, God, I've got an uncle. He takes and talks about Jesus and you and stuff. And if you're anything, I need to go to sleep. I need to go to sleep now. And because this is, and I remember waking up. And the thing that stands out is we was in group, and there was a girl that gave feedback. And she's like, there is something good. It's good, but Matt is different. Something has happened to Matt. And I'm like, it did. I didn't know that. But I mean, they were just saying your countenance. It's all, and I'm like, well, if it works for me getting out of here, that's good. So I'm ready for that. So, but it my faith has played the backbone in getting me through, and I don't push or pedal or none of that. And there's a hidden chapter in my book,
Yeah,
and yeah. So if people finds it, wants to go to it, that's on them. But is I'll tell people, and sometimes they don't understand. But I'm here to talk about mental health. I'm not here to talk about God.
yeah,
It's it's funny how, or in my experience for me, in my years of searching for recovery or help or mental health or whichever word you want to use.
Just a brief pause in the show. If you'd like to dive deeper into our work, our books are available on Amazon. You can also get instant electronic copies at payhip.com/Lisa Scott Brearley authors. Now, back to the show.
I would hit a bottom and then I would go back to do the exact same thing that I did before to help me get out of the bottom and expect different results. And so kind of what I'm saying is if you're really struggling and you've done the same what you thought was a solution, if you just keep going back to that, how can it be a solution if it hasn't worked 5 times? Try a different solution. Go a different
Exactly.
direction. It could,
Yeah.
like how you say everybody has a mental issue. Well, not everybody's journey to health is the same. And that's, we
Right.
think, yeah, and for some reason we want to put ourselves in the same box as everybody. And it's like nobody's in the same box.
Right. Right. And that's where I don't want to. I don't have a hidden agenda when I speak. I'm not coming to speak under the thing of mental health, but I'm going to try to push God down your throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, we get that.
Yeah. That I just wanted to, reiterate that part and stuff is that, um, that's just, that's false pretense.
Yeah. What I
Yeah.
get from you so far in this conversation is you're a man that just cares and wants to share and help people.
Right. A lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, well, and look around, the world is just not really knowing how to accept that,
No.
Yes, 100%.
you know.
Well, and
Yes.
we scare people away because a lot of people
We
are like,
trigger what is important to them, I think.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, different people's priorities. I hear a lot about, that. And, where whatever your priority is, that's going to be your first thing that you're going to go to. So, and, for me, it's this.
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
And, so of course my wife's first and things like that.
Yeah.
But
We'll have a lot in common.
Yeah.
I know we truly respect this relationship in regards to we were talking about this the other day, the place of respect and allowing each other to be heard without judgment. And I think that's kind
right,
of a big thing.
right, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
this
and
is kind of our therapy.
right, yeah. So great, that's awesome.
And
Yeah, she stays behind the scenes, so she don't want to be seen or heard.
that's
So,
okay. She did a lot of work to connect us, right?
yeah.
Yes,
So
she did.
when,
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you were talking about being in the hospital, how old were you the last time?
the last
When you,
time
when you,
I
no,
was,
sorry, when you were talking about the experience that you
Just
wanted your parents
leave.
to leave, like how old were
yeah,
you?
I was 14 and I turned 15 there. Yeah,
Oh my God,
I
how
think
much
that. Yeah,
damage that would do to your psyche and your mental
It's a
health
lot.
that we don't care what you want. Like I mean, I can't imagine because I was put through
yeah,
my own different kind of storm as well.
yeah, yeah,
But we come
yeah.
out stronger on the end. And it's like that's
Yeah,
why I want to help
exactly.
people.
That's yeah. And like I said, I can look back and if all that I've gone through is helping others, then I can so be it. It's been worth it then because that's, just the way it turned out.
You can you
You
can
know.
you can acknowledge it and accept it.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Now the first time I was hospitalized, I was 11 turning 12.
Mm.
And that back in that time, that was really rough because, as my doctor said, I've been doing this so many years and I've never seen 11-year-old so depressed in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So, and gosh, it was back in 2005 or six. I was visiting a hospital once, and I looked over and I seen these little people, and I was like, "What is that? What is that?" They said it's the 4-year-old unit. 4-year-old.
Wow.
How? I mean, and that was then. I can't even imagine, I mean, well, we've got 9 and 10-year-olds taking their own life.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
And
it's
seeing that and witnessing that and experiencing that, one of the parts in your book is um, what is like the toxins. What when you reflect back now, what do you see as toxic in the world in regards to how you're able to not be who you really want to be? Or
um that can be a loaded question. Cuz there's a lot of things, I mean, and um just some personal things right now even that I'm going through and stuff with family, and it's just um yeah, there's just some I'm the one that gets called toxic.
ah, I think
I
you
can, I
felt
can,
that.
I can relate with that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
100%. Are you the youngest by any chance?
Oldest,
Oldest. Okay.
Mm,
oldest, oldest, but it was, I may be the oldest, but I was the broken one, I guess.
Yeah.
mm.
So,
You paved the way.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah,
And
yeah.
and in your book, you kind of talk about past is the history, and past is what happened in the past. And so, how do you live today? Like, what gets you through today?
Uh, hope for tomorrow. And, I mean, that because I've found without hope, that equals hopeless. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a bad place to be.
And so, what do you
So,
do to maintain hope? I guess is the question. Because a lot of people do really struggle with that.
yeah, yeah. Well, my faith is one thing.
So, something
Uh,
positive. Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. If I get on the internet, I watch what I go to, because if I go into a negative conversation, then that's where I'm going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's whatever dog you feed the most.
Yep.
100%.
That's the one that wins. So, um, and I have a choice.
Yep.
And that's the thing, is I have a choice, just like we have a choice, and we all have our choice in what attitude we want to bring to it.
Yep.
I mean, if I just wanted to take my medication and, you know, think I'm going to take Prozac, and I don't care if I get better or not, it's just going to fix it all, chances are it's going to be a rough road. I'm
Yep.
going to have to expect and want better. A pill's just not going to fix nothing.
Yep.
It's going to, I mean, if I don't want to stop doing drugs, then I can go to as many meetings as I want to. But, you know, until you get to a point that your attitude changes, you're just going to stay kind of stuck.
Yep.
And misery loves company. So, and that's what I see a lot with media, social media, is, there's two groups, people that feed and help each other. And then there's the group that basically eat each other.
Fear mongers.
The takers and the givers.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You realize that we did actually an exercise on that, and it was so simple. Remember that?
No.
We were in an exercise of a personal development group, and you literally went around to people, and just on I think it was just on your first impression, you would tell them taker or giver.
Oh, that one.
Remember
Yeah, I
that?
remember
And it was
that.
like it was very
uh,
eye-opening. The impression that you gave
yeah,
people who didn't really know you, and and so when you present yourself that way, that says something to the world, right? So
yeah,
yeah, and so that's how you are often received.
right, right. Yeah, and a lot of people expect different things when I come and speak.
Yes,
My first date back after 2020, and we finally got on the road. I walk into a place and I'm greeted with some lady going, "You're not the speaker, are you?"
exactly.
Judging a book by the cover.
Yes, that's
I was like, "Yes, I am," and I can already tell this is going to be a good night.
fantastic.
So, what was it? A few months ago, I went to a recovery place and was doing their class and stuff. And I got there, and they was, wanting to, see my papers so that they could sign them and everything and frisk me. And I'm like, no, I'm the speaker. And they're like, what? Come on in. You're, you know, they'll enjoy this.
Yeah.
So, and those those have been each thing. I mean, it's just got its own story, its own DNA, if you will. And I'm just mind boggled. I mean, it just sit there and awe at some of the things that experience at some of these places that I don't know if you can do anything but just call them a miracle. I mean, it's not anybody raising up from the dead or, I mean, anything like that. But I mean, it's just, you know, at this recovery place, I was afraid was going to be cutting into time because got to a point that, I turned it into an open mic. And,
Yeah.
I mean, these people want to share or whatever. And people started to share. And the guy told me, he said, like, no, keep going as long as you can because these guys don't talk. And he
Ah,
said, all of a sudden,
yeah.
he said, they're telling things that nobody knows about. And he goes, this is, I mean, and they just kind of sit there with their jaw dropped, you know. And I was like, I don't know. I just started the conversation, I guess.
Well,
And that's what I like to do.
Well, it's amazing when you get real with people how some people, when they're reaching out and have a little bit of an open mind, how they can start getting real. And it's just scratching the surface. And it's like
Yeah,
one of my biggest favorite sayings now is just like the S storm snowballs,
mhm.
yeah,
the health storm snowballs. You start
yeah,
off just scratching the surface and it gets bigger and bigger. And eventually it's like you're living a life like you never thought you would live.
right. Yeah,
And that life is a journey. It's not this, I gotta arrive here. But you arrive
no, right.
here, and then you arrive here, and then you arrive here, and then you arrive there.
Yeah. And you get lost on the way a lot of the times.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
Like
and that's all okay.
exactly.
But
I'm a guy that spent most of my life thinking the universe hated me. because no
Right.
matter what direction I went into, it blew up.
And you still have
However,
Right.
moments.
I
You
still
still
have
have
moments.
moments.
Yeah.
However, I wouldn't slow down long enough to listen to those little nudges life gave.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you were talking about doctors earlier and
And having
psychologists and
advice
shrinks and
too.
getting diagnosed. And back, I think it was 20 years ago, I was seeing a recovery coach, and they suggested that I look into Dr. Amen in the States to go down and get diagnosed for ADHD. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't go to the States. That's all I said. So then fast forward 15-ish years, I'm at work in the movie industry, and I had been taking this gentleman that had been sober and he wanted to go to meetings again. So I started taking him to meetings. After about 3 months of him getting to know me, he walks up with Dr. Amen's book and puts it in my truck and goes, I think you should read this. So there's nudge two. Lisa and I do 5 years later, Lisa and I do this recovery and coaching, or no, crisis and recovery coaching program. And
Yeah.
Dr. Amen's brought up again. So
Oh.
Lisa starts doing some research on it, and we're in Thailand at the time, and she's like, "You're going to see Dr. Amen when we get back." And I went and seen Dr. Amen in the state. Well, to his clinic. I didn't actually see him.
Right.
It changed my life. However, instead of just getting the diagnosis of I'm ADHD, when I'm talking to the doctor, what books can I read so I can learn about this and make my ticks? And
Yeah.
the most bizarre thing happened. I'm on the treadmill one day, work or walk running, right? And I got an ADHD book in my hand, and he's talking about one of his clients. And when I was a kid, my older brother used to beat me up all the time.
Right.
However, I'm on this treadmill, and it dawns on me, like, whose fault is it that he beat me up all the time? Is it really his, or is it the antagonizers? Because I was a huge antagonizer. He would
Right.
beat me up, and I would hit the ground, and I'd get up, and I would go at him again.
Right.
And does it make it right that your brother is 4 years older than you beats you up? But no, but does it,
No.
you know, so owning your own story
And
helps
Yeah.
accepting
clear,
it. Yes,
and
like you
accepting it
talking about
helps
that.
clear the passage. And
Yeah. Agree. That's cool.
where do you mainly speak?
Uh, well, right now we keep it kind of regional. Prior to COVID, we was in an RV and we lived and went and from we've been up to Canada and down to the Texas border up to Washington State, and back different times and stuff. So right now we're just keeping it more regional.
Okay,
Got
I might have
projects.
worded the question wrong. What kind of facilities, or like,
Who are you
that's not
speaking to?
necessarily the,
Yeah,
yeah, who are you speaking?
I get what. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Anywhere, anywhere that I can actually get into, and they're going to let me talk.
Nice.
So, I do a lot of celebrate recoveries.
Mm-hmm.
I do speak at them. Uh, that's, you know, right now I'm, tomorrow night I'll speak at a, what is it? NAMI meeting.
I've
The, you
heard of
know,
that.
yeah, National Alliance Mental Health,
Oh,
Ah,
okay.
mental illness. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll speak there tomorrow night. And, then where was it? Back in November, we did a show that was with just different bands,
oh,
and had bands playing, and then I've done that a couple times. In fact, that was one of the first shows that I done was I spoke in between two punk bands.
ha,
And
Wow.
yeah,
what a great
you know,
spot
I
to do
mean,
it though.
it works. There's a lot of people. People have hesitation with that.
Yeah.
But if it's going to work, and it does work
I
because
like your thinking.
Yeah.
you know, I mean, there was this punk festival asked me to come and speak and address the crowd one evening as the keynote speaker. And I was like, well, which night, Friday or Saturday? And they said, we want you both nights. I was like, I've heard of a speaker on one night and another speaker on the other night, but I've not really heard the same speaker, same festival, a different,
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, well, let's do that. And I mean, it's just, well, what was it? I did a bonfire back in the fall, you know, was at a bonfire and they hooked me up and spoke and, let's see, bars, wherever there's, I mean, have entertainment happen and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll go in and, they have their option if they, wherever has their option. I can just come and speak. I can come and speak and then I open the floor up for discussion and it's more or less put out as an open mic,
Mm-hmm.
mental health open mic. And, whatever you've got to bring, I mean, to the microphone, as long as it's mental health related,
Love that.
bring it,
Yeah.
and I do that in bars. I've done that in basements. I mean, did that with a group of college kids, and
Mm.
I've yeah, I heard some stories that just they was just they were just rated X. They did wrong. I mean, in some of the ways they described it and stuff, and me and my wife talked about that. I mean, it was uncomfortable,
Mhm.
very uncomfortable. But if they're going to talk, you've got to let them talk. I can't really go, well, here, wait a minute. I need you to talk the way I think you need to speak.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to do that.
No.
So they've got to just be raw, unfiltered, and unedited. And I have to sit there and let it happen. And unless we're, say, at a family library setting and I've put it
Yeah.
out as PG-13, then I need to, I mean, things like that. But if it's a basement full of kids like that, I mean, and it was a great night,
Have,
you know.
have you had any of the people that you've spoken in front of reach out and talk to you afterwards? Like,
Yes.
not necessarily right at the event, but later on.
Sometimes, sometimes not as much as I would have thought.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I, the topic,
I know. That's
I
the
mean,
Oh,
thing. Yeah.
the topic,
Yeah.
I mean, I've figured that, I mean, sometimes there would be maybe just a little more there than what there was put out and stuff. But, you know, just because everybody's wanting to hear about it and talk about it, don't mean they're going to get in the car and drive and then get out in the parking lot and walk inside. And,
no.
you know, those, those are steps. They're hurdles for some people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I do keep in touch on Facebook with anybody that, I mean, friends and stuff like that, I mean, which that has grown and, I mean, people will, always be stopping by and commenting or liking something or sharing something or whatever. I mean, so I, I guess I have made a lot of friends. I mean, and then the thing is I can't remember where I've met most of them. You
Yeah.
know,
It's these,
some of them is maybe a little blurry, but
yeah,
you
it's
know,
connections. It's having those connections with people who like I always think things happen perfectly. Like everything
yeah,
happens perfect timing. And who's like
yeah,
you said, who's meant to hear it or who's meant to listen to it is who's meant to hear it or listen to it.
Right. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
not
And
easy being I'll call it a trailblazer, but doing
right.
something different than the norm of our society, I guess.
Right. Exactly. And that's the whole focus, is doing something out of the norm,
Yeah.
thinking outside of the box, and not being contained. Surprise, I'm not in a suit and tie, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, and or jeans and t-shirt, I mean, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
But, I just go up there. I mean, sometimes I'll go and, I'll take my shoes off before I go up to speak and just do it barefooted, because I just, I'm just me. I'm comfortable that way, and I'm not here to take and, I guess, teach people about things that I've learned from a book that I think that they should feel.
Mm.
I'm just talking about my own experiences.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't have a doctorate degree or diploma. I've got experience.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes that trumps all the others.
A
The
lot of times
experience.
it does.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I know exactly how you feel because I've come from the same background.
Yeah. Right.
Not to the degree, but to a degree in a different way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can relate. Yeah. Yeah.
And we all have our purpose or our drive to do what we love and to give back how
Yeah.
we can.
Right. Right.
So,
And
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm in this to make a commotion and draw attention, and as I said, provoke and instigate others to talk about it.
I
And
love
if you're not going to talk about it, at least you're going to have to try to go to bed tonight.
Mhm.
And I hope to be in your head.
there.
So yeah,
Yeah, you'd be a good voice in their head.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Even if it's as simple as, I wonder if he's right, or I
Yes.
wonder if the direction he's going in is.
yeah.
He did
So
it. I can do
yeah,
it.
Yes.
am I in denial?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
sometimes, like for me, I spent, like I said earlier, I spent years around 12-step programs.
Final pause. If you've got a message on your heart and want to be our guest, don't be shy. We'd love to hear from you. Visit FordWalkingChoices.com, scroll to the Soulmates and Suitcases podcast section, and click Apply Here. Now back to the show.
Searching for help and searching for help and always thinking, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get this?
right.
But here's the ironic part. I kept telling myself I wasn't getting it, but yet I was staying sober.
Mhm.
Right.
So I had what the AA program teaches is to stay sober and get a better life.
Yeah.
However, I couldn't get past that emotional and mental and the fact that my life blew up all the time and it was like, okay, I want to die. I want to die. I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And spending years in that headspace. And when you're in that headspace, there's no, till you can kind of step out of it a bit. For me, there was no hope for growth till
Right.
I started making baby steps to get out of there.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
I still don't know. It's like if somebody asked me what was one of the pivotal moments of why you didn't do even attempt it, it's like, well, a couple of reasons is I've already attempted a couple times and I got nowhere and I didn't have the jam anymore. And it like, so yeah. And it was,
Yeah. Yeah. It's always been something that I've wanted to do, and I've approached it on many levels of taking, and I mean, in churches, I want to do a mental health support group here.
yeah.
You know, a sanctuary for people. I mean, and it always got met with some kind of resistance of, well, you're not qualified. You know, if you do this, we're going to have a qualified person on hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it does stir
You
up a
know,
lot.
yeah, and I mean, but and I'm like, no, something's not right, and it's not fitting with me. And I think I just got to the point that I was like, here, hold this. We're going to go do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And see where this goes and what happens. And you know, here we are. I'm
That takes
still at it.
tremendous amount of courage.
Yeah.
So, well, I've never been good on stage at all. I have attempted as uh, singing, and oh, how nervous I would be. And that first time speaking, that was, I mean, but when I got introduced, I realized I better go on out there.
Yeah.
I better do this because there's been some stuff put into it. So I did. And right now, I mean, there's been times that, they've had to go, time, Matt, time. So, but I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming next. I mean, so.
Now our kind of our conversation, I just like I don't know how the hour flew by, but it flew by. One of the questions you ask in your book is about, I know the chapter is called "Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?" So I'll ask you that question, Matt. Where do you see yourself in 5 years from now?
Well, if I recall the chapter and I looked at it and I was like, I wrote that. That's one chapter I wish I'd have just left out of the book because I
Yeah.
really, I
And
don't
that's
know,
good. You're a good author if you're revising your life
you know.
story.
So I'm revising that and do a edit version and
Yeah.
leaving out that because I mean it really don't matter. It seems like
I love
I mean
Well,
man makes plans and God laughs. I mean,
it.
so I found that to be out now a fact. I mean, it's just the way it is, and so take it one day at a time. And in 5 years, I'll know, and I'll be able to look back.
Exactly.
But looking forward is just one step at a time.
Yeah,
So, but I hope to be alive and kicking and doing this. I hope to have a lot of little league hemiotape projects out in the world. People that are doing it, and always saying is I don't really care if anybody takes and remembers the name Hamio Tate or Matt Davis. I would rather them take and say, I remember that one guy
yeah.
in that one place at one time, and he said this.
And how I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a thing of, yeah, Matt Davis, he was always a good speaker. I like that guy. You know, it is, you just forget my name. I want to be real. That's the best compliment I've been paid.
Yep.
I've been examining that. I mean, I was in Pennsylvania and got through, and the speaker, said to the group, what y'all think about him? And I'm like, I'm leaving. I don't want to hear the answer to that one. But I came back in, and the guy just said, I liked him. Matt's real.
Yep.
He's real. And the more I'm thinking and pondering on that is, wow, that's probably the highest compliment, because what's real anymore? Who's real anymore? And, everybody's wearing these masks and hiding behind something. And so,
That's exactly it. And I'll sum it up maybe with one thing. The present is the gift. Being present.
Yeah.
Step two.
Yeah. Yeah. Present is where it's at. I agree with that. I've heard that, the past, it's the past and the future's yet to come. And if you spend time in either one of those dwelling, you'll lose what's right with you now.
Yep, exactly.
So,
So where can people get your book or contact you to speak?
um, online, uh, my Facebook, and let's see, I've got a card that cues me on all of that.
And we'll include all that.
Facebook.com/ehameotade. And I have a website that, well, no, you go to that and you'll be able to get to the website. You'll be able to find the book. It's at the top of the page and it's a QR code. It's free. If you want me to come speak, just holler and we'll do what we can to make it happen
Do
Yeah,
you,
and stuff. We've been finding out that, ain't nowhere gas is free.
I
I mean,
know, I know. There are
I
costs.
mean, I hate that part of the discussion and everything, but I mean, it's there.
well, it's reality.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like it takes,
exactly.
sad as it is, and it takes money to make the world go around. And it's like we both have written books and we paid somebody to help us do it. So the books
Publisher.
cost like a publisher, so it costs us a lot to get there. So we charge
Yeah,
them for our books.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We've
However,
given away a lot.
we've probably given away as many as we've sold or more. And
Right, yeah.
because some people, like, I'll meet them and we'll get to know them, and it's like, oh, we want to read your book, and it's like,
Here you go.
Here you go. Yeah,
yeah,
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll definitely include all of that in the description.
Okay.
And Matt, this has been an amazing conversation. Maybe someday we'll meet your wife and and
Yeah. Well, she just waved.
awesome,
They
awesome,
waving back.
awesome.
Oh, where I was going with asking about the last question, do you ever do them online
Oh
so you
yeah.
could do it further away?
I can do that. I'm looking into that because that's looking like it could be more of a platform. I mean, and I wish I'd have done it a lot more during COVID, but
Yeah,
I had my own stuff I was having to deal with during all that too, and just didn't turn out the way that I planned it.
yeah.
But that's the way things go sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I'm up for that. I really like the personal,
Oh,
Yeah.
it's way
you
better.
know, yeah, with people and stuff. It's always way better for me and stuff. But
I think
this is
you've definitely inspired us. And
Definitely.
and I know you will connect with someone, a listener today, someone watching. And yeah, the fact that your book is free is amazing. Thank you very much, Matt, for the conversation and what you have to offer and your experience and your story. And the big thing that we say at the end of our podcast, because we're in Thailand, we
I don't
say
say Kapun Cup.
Kapun ka, that means thank you, and Kapun maka, thank you very much. Appreciate your
Thank
time.
you.
It's
All
been a
right,
pleasure,
appreciate you
Matt.
guys.
All
All
right.
right,
Take care.
stay in
Thanks.
touch.
Want to get our books fast and at the best price? Get your electronic copy at https://payhip.com/Lisa Scott Brearley authors. Again, that's https://payhip.com/Lisa Scott Brearley authors.